The Jedi Order is a cult. And it breaks down into a few things. It wasn't always a cult. It didn't start as a cult. And eventually it's going to shift to that direction. We see this take place in the books like The Living Force by John Jackson Miller, where you have the Jedi stopping the Jedi outposts. During the time of the High Republic, they would live among the outer worlds and have temples and outposts all across the galaxy. By the time we get to the prequel trilogy, it's largely just based on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple, which is a very important part of cult mentality, is you start to isolate yourselves from the outside world. Another thing that goes along with the cult mentality of the Jedi Order is the fact that they become very doctrinaire about their belief systems. They're very rigid. They don't like to have any dissension within their ranks. And we see this in areas such as children can only be brought into the temple at a young age so that they can't be indoctrinated by other philosophies, only indoctrinated by the Jedi Order. The Jedi are closed to new ideas. We see that in The Phantom Menace and The Acolyte, both from Ki-Adi-Mundi, wherein he is reluctant and even skeptical of the fact that the Sith could possibly return. Another thing is they have a tier system. And in that tier system, you move through the ranks of the organization, and people build their entire identity around their position within the community. They have a charismatic leader, Yoda, highly charismatic. People like him. He goes out, he's kind of the public face of the Jedi. He can be stern, he can be sage, he can be funny, but he's very influential. And we see that the individuals within the Jedi Order really start to develop an us versus them mentality with relation to everybody else in the galaxy. Specifically, we see that tension rise with the Sith, but as things progress, it starts to become more of a mentality, especially during the Clone Wars, that there's some greater evil that's out to get them. Now, we know as fans that the greater evil is the Sith, but, you know, if we're looking at it from the perspective of in-universe, it's no wonder that the citizens of the Star Wars galaxy assumed that the Jedi Order was a cult, because they had this unknown enemy, this fear-mongering in the mind of many of the individuals in the galaxy about this supposed threat, which was the Sith. Again, we know that that is legitimate because we watched the films, the movies, read the books, comics, you know, hey, we dive into it. We're Star Wars fans. But the thing is, we also get people radicalized by the Jedi Order. And Yoda even mentions this in Attack of the Clones when he's talking about how too certain the Jedi have become, even the older, more experienced ones. Yoda sees it coming. And it's just kind of a sad story to see how over the course of thousands of years, you can take an organization that is benevolent, purely benevolent, open to everyone, and start to see it become closed off and a bit elitist. Again, the Jedi, are they the bad guys of Star Wars? No, they're clearly been framed as the heroes. But even George Lucas, when you look at the prequels, recognized that they were getting too rigid in their ways, that the Jedi were not open to ulterior ideas, and that this is going to eventually lead to their downfall. And because the galaxy can look at them, because the galaxy can start to think about them as a cult, then it becomes easier for Palpatine to really turn the switch on the population and the group mentality of the Jedi are here to help to the Jedi are here to harm. So that's just what I think about this. I'd really like to be able to start a dialogue with people. Let me know what you think. Are the Jedi a religion or a cult? Start up a conversation in the comments. I'd really enjoy being able to interact with some people on this. Thanks for watching.